Hello, everybody. Welcome to Championship Match Week 46. It is the final game of the regular season, so it's the final day for a lot of clubs in this division. There's still certainly a lot of things to play for, especially in a top 10, where you have a playoff race and an automatic race. But for the rest of the league, they're on the beach. So let's get on with our final 25-26 regular season matchday predictions. Liam, it's been a whole season now. What do you think?
It's been some season. It's been a bit strange at times. Some clubs have had things go against them. Some clubs, one in particular, have had things go towards them. You know who you are. Uh, yeah, we've had some shocks. We've had some big surprises. Coventry runaway leaders. Uh, I mean, top four was always a fair shout. Um, Wednesday, obviously, going straight down rooted to the bottom, not a shock, but the fact that they can only pick up, one win in 46 games is probably surprising. Um, yeah, Sheffield United struggling. Wrexham able uh, to bridge the gap, and I think the most incredible story is Hull. What a season!
Definitely. I think, regardless of how it goes for Hull, I think their players should definitely deserve a pat on the back because they have had a really good season considering they were against the odds early in the season. It just reinforces how the Championship is the best league in the world because it's just so unpredictable. You have good seasons from nowhere, you have poor seasons from nowhere. And we will soon be saying hello to Wolverhampton Wanderers, Burnley, Lincoln, Cardiff, and we await
Tottenham.
Tottenham potentially, West Ham, Forest maybe, Leeds. I don't know. Whoever it is, you will be welcomed in August. But let's
Stevenage.
yeah, we could be having Lincoln and Stevenage in the Championship next season. Um, you know what? I wouldn't mind Stevenage trying to stay up, sort of like against the odds underdog kind of club. That would kind of take it away from Lincoln though. Anyways, let's get on with this one, shall we? And we start with Blackburn versus Leicester. Blackburn staying up. They've done their job. Leicester already down. Um, I think because this is at Ewood, I am probably going to lean Blackburn here. But I'm going to go 2-0 for Blackburn.
Yeah, I can't see there being all too many goals. Yeah, I think Leicester just go down with a whimper here because it's a dead rubber game, one of quite a few. But Blackburn, I think, just end the season pretty nicely. A couple of weeks ago we were saying this could be the relegation deciding game. Turns out it's not. We have all three spots taken up. Um, so I just think not like it'll matter all that much apart from where they finish in the league. But 2-1, the Kieran special Blackburn win.
That's another thing. Like next season, I think what we should do is we should like calculate the amount of times we've said a particular score because I know I've said 2-1 probably about 500 times this season. Right, on to the next game, Bristol City versus Stoke.
Oh God. Um, so I can see out of these 12 games, there will be, I reckon, one nil-nil. So like, just what's the point in playing it? And one absolute goal fest. And I'm torn with this one because I feel like this could be both.
Hmm.
This could be the worst nil-nil anyone could ever watch, or it could be about 4-5. So I don't know. I want to say like 3-2 Stoke, but I don't think either have that many goals in them when they have nothing to play for. So think I'm going to play my 0-0 here.
Yeah, I think Stoke definitely has been descending down the table pretty quickly towards the back end of the season. Um, 17th, it's yet another season of bottom half football. How much longer will this go on for Stoke? Bristol City, bang on mid-table. They had their year fighting for playoffs, and it's now back to reality of mid-table. In terms of this, I just think it's 1-1. I just think this will be a scrappy 1-1 draw.
Sorry, you mentioned Bristol City mid-table. I've just noticed that the age-old mid-table clubs have been restored. Preston, Bristol City's QPR, 12th to 14th. You couldn't make this up.
Now for the next one, it's Derby versus Sheffield United. Now this definitely does have something riding on it. Derby are the outsiders in the playoff race, so they need two other results to go their way to have a chance of getting in the playoffs. But they have a relatively friendly fixture here compared to the other teams. Sheffield United, an underwhelming season. They probably just want it to be over. They're on the beach. I just think this will probably be a comfortable Derby win. I predicted 3-1 in this reverse fixture earlier in the season, and I'm going to predict 3-1 again.
Um, See, oh, I've put it on the wrong section again. See, I don't think Derby will feel like they need to score that many goals because, in comparison to Hull and Wrexham, it's quite nicely superior. So I think they'll just get the job done the way they want to, which is a John Eustace classic, 1-0.
Alright, so now for Hull versus Norwich.
Interesting. Um, yeah, another playoff chaser. Hull mentioned how they've had a fantastic season. Um, if they finish seventh or eighth, yeah, sure, they'll be absolutely gutted. However, I don't think that should take away the phenomenal season that they've had. Um, it's a tough game because Norwich, they're out of it now. They've got nothing to play for. But the form they've been in 2026 is unmatched. So, um, it's difficult as well because Hull have something to play for. I'm really struggling. I've what my my head says 1-1, but my heart says 2-1 Hull. I'm following my heart.
Yeah, this is a tough one to call considering Norwich's good form this year. Hull, probably a bit inconsistent lately, but they're definitely still within earshot of the playoffs. So they are at home, so they could potentially, if they win this, then they are minimum 7th. Um, but mm, I think I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to go for 2-1 home win.
Yeah, I think that's what was swaying my brain towards a draw because Hull's last 7 fixtures. It's relegation form. Um, so they just haven't really. I think Charlton were by far the better team on the weekend. So yeah, Hull. If they're gonna get a season-defining victory, it needs to be there and then.
Yes. Okay, and now another one that has something riding on it. It's Ipswich versus QPR. Ipswich, they drew in midweek at Southampton. I think avoiding defeat there is definitely a vital point for them, but they may feel hard done by to not get 3 points. They need the 3 to confirm automatics, but they haven't done it. Ipswich, just get it done. You're just not getting it done. And you should think that Ipswich get second place wrapped up here against QPR, considering QPR are mid-table, nothing to play for. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go another 2-0 here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna chuck in a couple of goals here and there. QPR, it was the most typical QPR result of all time. Took the lead twice at home to Derby. Took what 12, 13 shots on target and lost. So yeah, how to sum up Queens Park Rangers? I think that would do the job. I think this is a game that'll have about 50 shots between them. Uh, but I think Ipswich find the back of the net on 3 occasions. QPR to find it once.
Alright, and now for Millwall versus Oxford.
I'll be surprised if Millwall don't get their job done, but I'll also be surprised if they do end up finishing second. Then it's weird. They're in a good but bad position, Millwall, because they're at home against a relegated Oxford side. Um, uh, but the goal difference is just not good enough to overtake Ipswich or make a difference if they lose. Because if they lose and Middlesbrough win, Millwall are down a place, and they'll be facing Southampton, which I'm sure they will not want. Um, yeah, I do think it's just going to be a routine 1-0 for Millwall, but they get their job done, but I'm not convinced they'll finish second.
Yeah, obviously, if Oxford weren't already down, I would think maybe this could be a challenge for Millwall. I think Oxford would have fought everything to try and get the survival, but they're down now, so you should really, you should think, yeah, this should be a Millwall win. Obviously, Millwall are just off second place by only a point. They have had a good season as well. Definitely progress made at the Den this season. But speaking of the Den, they've had a couple of performances there which have been really disappointing, which may cost them promotion. Um, but I think I'm going to back Millwall here with a 2-1. 2-1 win. And now it's Portsmouth versus Birmingham. Both teams have nothing to play for. Birmingham and Portsmouth both on a good run at the moment. Both of them have won 3 of the last 4. So both teams would look at this and think, maybe we can finish the season strongly. But because this is at Fratton Park, I think I'm going to slightly lean Portsmouth here, 1-0.
We were doing so well. We had a few good games, and then now we're back to dead rubber. I think I'm just looking at the remaining fixtures. I think this could be the one where it's a bit of a goal frenzy, and no one would expect it with these two sides because Pompey have a very poor attacking front line, or striker, I should say, and Birmingham just don't do anything away from home. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's 0-0. I'm gonna say Desmond to make it interesting.
Alright, and now for Preston versus Southampton.
Yeah, this is dead rubber as well. 1-0 Southampton.
Yeah, I mean, Southampton's recent form, I think they're the team that you want to avoid in the playoffs. I think they definitely have a big argument of winning the playoffs. But obviously they failed to take their chance against Ipswich midweek, which means they are in the playoffs regardless. Preston, mid-table merchants, 12th place, as they have been for many years. This I'm going to say 1-2 to Southampton. Now for Sheffield Wednesday versus West Brom. Um, Sheffield Wednesday, obviously minus points, and West Brom just staying up. Sheffield Wednesday, there may be a sense of, can we get something here? But I I do think that um, they will stay on minus points. 0-1.
Yeah, I don't know really because well, for starters, it's not every day you see a club stay up twice in 1 week, which is quite remarkable. But yeah, as mad as it is to say, Sheffield Wednesday will be hoping they can finish on 0 points. Um, will they? Probably not. Put a tenner on it if you want. You might get a decent return if it does happen. But I'm just going to say 1-1. I'll be very pleasantly surprised, I suppose, if Wednesday defeat West Brom.
All right, and now for Watford versus Coventry.
Well, I'm going to uh, ignore that one for now because I would like to talk about Swansea Charlton.
All right.
Um, because alphabetically, that comes first. How smart am I? Uh, I wish I didn't now because this is just who cares. 2-1, I suppose. Swansea win.
Yeah, both sides obviously now have nothing to play for. Charlton finally did seal their survival over the weekend with that win over Hull. Swansea, 11th place, mid-table, on the beach, FC. And I'm going to say, for this one, 1-1. Alright, and now for Watford versus Coventry. Watford definitely on the decline as of late, slipping down to 16th in the table. Watford may be looking over their shoulder next season because I'm not convinced by their recent form at all, and I think they're an unstable club with so many managerial sackings. It is believed that Ed Still is going to be sacked at the end of the season, so I don't know how many managers Watford have had in the past 3 years. I'm sure there's a stat somewhere, but I haven't looked it up. But it means that yet again Watford go from square one. Coventry on the other hand are off to the Premier League after sealing the title and beating Wrexham. They are in dreamland, and their final game in the Championship will be a 2-0 victory for the Sky Blues.
Yeah, as much as I want to agree with that and say the same score, I'm not going to because I want to try my luck and gain a 3-pointer. But I'm going to add a goal to Coventry. But yeah, Watford, I can't remember the specific number, but it was somewhere between 17 and 22 managers under the Pozzo ownership. So yeah, not long ago we were saying, oh, do Watford have the slimmest of outside chances for the playoffs? And now, yeah, they're only a couple of points above Stoke, who won the league in September. So yeah, 3-0 Coventry.
I just think Watford are becoming increasingly unstable, and I worry for them next season. Now, the final game of the season, at least according to Flash Scores, is Wrexham versus Middlesbrough. This does have something on it for both ends. I believe
Yeah,
that's the first one.
yeah, the one and only game that has both teams that both teams have something to play for.
Yes. So, I'll let you introduce this
Oh,
one.
this was me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough ask at this point for Borough, but Ipswich failing to beat Southampton gives Borough the slightest bit of hope. But they need to get their shooting boots on for this one, because while Wrexham defensively are weak, they are not up front. They can score from any midfielder, any striker. Um, Issa Kabore always causes trouble for any left back or even left winger at times. Um, uh, this I could have had this as the mental goal fest, and I sort of want to just because why not? But do Borough have it in them to score as many goals as I'm thinking? Last game of the season, couldn't care less. I'm like 9 points behind. 4-3 Middlesbrough win.
To be fair, my predictions is not far off from yours. I do think this will have a lot of goals in it as well because both teams are fighting for it. Wrexham are the ones currently in the driving seat for the playoffs, so they're going to want to get the goals in to keep that. But Middlesbrough, they they want to fight for that last promotion spot. It's out of their hands, but um, I think this will be a high scoring game. I think Middlesbrough are not going to let Wrexham get into the playoffs easily. But I think Wrexham come out on top on this one. I'm going to say Wrexham 3, Middlesbrough 2. And now for our final score of the regular season, Liam, you can go first.
Uh, so yeah, I mean, I actually in the reverse round, which was what match day 12, something like that. I went for Thomas Asante against Watford. I've this time gone for Mason Clark against Watford.
Yes, and I've done the exact same with the exact player in the reverse fixture. um, so I've predicted 3 Derby goals. Uh, I've predicted 3-1 like I did last time around, and I predicted Carlton Morris. So I didn't even realise it was the same scoreline and the same goal scorer until I actually went, oh wait, it was Sheffield United who I did this against last time. But that was a complete accident. Um, but he got me 5 points earlier in the season, so I'm gonna back Carlton Morris again to get me another 5, hopefully getting me over the line for the season. Now, we are going to do playoff videos, so please keep an eye out for the playoffs. Until then, see you later.
Yeah, I'd just like to quickly point out I've got no change from second to fifth because I wrote this down on a table predictor.
Okay.
Um, I have Hull, judging by my predictions, Hull finishing sixth, Derby in seventh, and Wrexham eighth.
All right. So I think that is definitely a realistic. I think there's a good chance that will happen, but obviously the predictions is not what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to the results in the field. Regardless, it will be an exciting end to yet another great season in the championship. So, if you're not a playoff fan, see you next season. If you are, keep an eye out. Now, bye bye.